Even the biggest movies, which have won multiple awards for their cinematography or special effects, were initially rejected by major studios when they tried to get their screenplay accepted. They may have been huge successes, but only after being turned down by film studios on multiple occasions. Despite numerous rejections, the people behind these films continued with their work until a studio finally picked up the project. Here are the top 10 rejected movies that later became successful. Before we get further, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Okay, now back to the video. Number 10. The Exorcist. Released in 1971, The Exorcist was initially a commercial failure. Then William Peter Blatty attempted to build interest in Hollywood for a film adaptation of his novel, but was unsuccessful. After he talked about the novel for 45 minutes on the Dick Cavett Show, American readers took notice, and the book topped the bestsellers list. Warner Brothers then expressed interest and purchased the rights, even asking Blatty to write the script, and the picture went on to become one of the most profitable horror films ever made. Number 9. Home Alone. Every holiday season, we enjoy watching Home Alone. But initially, Warner Brothers agreed to finance the picture because screenwriter John Hughes believed it could be made for less than $10 million. However, when the budget was exceeded, Warner Brothers pulled the plug. While not a rejection of the film itself, it was a rejection of the filmmaker's vision. Fortunately, Hughes had a sneaking suspicion that he wouldn't be able to maintain his budgetary pledge and had spoken with 20th Century Fox in private. When Warner Brothers backed down, Fox swooped in to save the day. On an $18 million budget, it made $476 million worldwide. Number 8. Pulp Fiction. TriStar initially rejected Quentin Tarantino's second film, Pulp Fiction. The studio thought the content to be too demented, though we'd argue that that's one of the show's charms. According to co-writer Roger Avery, the studio was also concerned about the film's non-linear structure. One man's garbage is another man's treasure, as the saying goes. Miramax approved the project after reading the script. It was the studio's first fully funded project, and it received a flood of Oscar nominations, including a win for its screenplay. Number 7. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. When Spielberg returned from producing Raiders of the Lost Ark, he set about changing his alien horror film into an alien kids movie. Meanwhile, Columbia directors were unimpressed with Spielberg's proposal, characterizing it as a wimpy Walt Disney movie, and instead let Universal bid on the script. Columbia was allowed to keep 5% of the net profits as part of the contract with Universal, and the studio's head observed that the modest investment made the studio more money than any of the films they released themselves that year. Number 6. Back to the Future. Robert Zemeckis had a writing contract with Columbia Pictures in the early 1980s. Everything was in place for a terrific film until Columbia decided they didn't want anything to do with it since it was deemed too family-friendly. Other studios didn't recognize the potential, and several drafts of the picture were also rejected. Disney ironically turned it down as well, believing that the film was not family-friendly enough. After being turned down by over 40 studios, Zemeckis and Gale went to their friend Steven Spielberg for support. Number 5. Bad Santa. Bad Santa, a 2003 film, took a darker approach to show Santa. Instead of providing gifts to young children, Santa planned to rob them. Willie dressed up as Santa every year, and his accomplice, Marcus, would help him loot department stores. Many executives were turned off by the dark take on a Christmas theme. According to the New York Times, although one studio was not opposed to making a film that promoted the anti-Christmas vibe, another embraced the concept. Number 4. Little Miss Sunshine. While screenwriter Michael Arndt was able to locate producers, the team had difficulty finding studios willing to take a chance. Focus Features was the only studio interested in a picture set in Canada, and focusing on the character Richard Hoover. They dismissed Arndt, recruited a new writer, fired Arndt again, and then canceled the picture after 2 years of planning. Fortunately, producer Mark Turteltaub re-secured the rights and fronted the $8 million budget for the picture. Little Miss Sunshine went on to be a Sundance Film Festival blockbuster hit, sparking a bidding war that Fox Searchlight won. It made $101 million at the box office and received 2 Academy Award nominations, including Best Original Screenplay. Number 3. Get Out. The film Get Out, 2017, had no ghosts, aliens, or other paranormal beings, but the storyline and visual effects were enough to send chills down any viewer's spine. Rose and her boyfriend Chris were invited to spend the weekend at their home by Rose's parents. Chris was concerned about seeing her parents and how they would react to their interracial relationship, but he began to suspect her parents when he spotted their African American staff acting suspiciously as if they were trapped. In 2018, the film was nominated for and won an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. The film Get Out is available on YouTube. Number 2. Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope. George Lucas's Star Wars concept had a ton of potential. However, it was not seen by many studios. The screenplay for Star Wars that George Lucas wrote was regarded to be poor at the time. It's understandable why they turned it down, because sci-fi movies were considered a significant risk at the time, especially for a newcomer. George Lucas eventually found a home for Star Wars at 20th Century Fox after United Artists and Universal passed on the concept. The studio, on the other hand, largely invested in Lucas rather than the concept itself. Number 1. Twilight. The film Twilight became a cultural sensation, so it's surprising to consider how many studios overlooked its potential. According to producer Mark Morgan, the company intended to make an action film that was significantly different from the books. Due to an inability to reach a deal, Paramount relinquished the rights. Morgan has indicated that the project was shopped around, but that everyone turned it down. Finally, Summit Entertainment took a chance on it, which proved to be a very wise decision. As we all know, it launched several high-profile careers as well as a franchise worth more than $3 billion. So guys, that was it for this video. What did you think about our video? Let us know in the comments section below. If you are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching.